Thank you. All right, so welcome to today's call. I'm actually really excited, and partially sometimes when we pull calls together, it's because it's a topic that we want to know more about or we want to put into practice. And in fact, as Tina and I were talking just a little bit earlier today, we were talking about like, oh, I want to make this thing. And so today we're going to do a little highlight class. It's going to be fairly quick. We'll keep it in that half-hour range, so it will be fun to rewatch. But we're going to walk through just some ways to do DIYs and fun, easy stuff for the holidays. Some fun things that maybe you have with you. And we were kind of talking. It's this time of year you don't just have like your traditional holidays, like but you might even have like a gathering at work where you need to take something. My kiddo works in a place where they've been doing secret Santas, and they're just gifting each other. And so having some small things that you probably already even have on hand, or if you had to pick up something to make a really great gift that's very flexible for a lot of people, or something that you can do in bulk. Maybe you are doing like teacher gifts. That's kind of a big thing this time of year. And some of our gifts will be stuff that will take you all the way into January and beyond. And so I'm super excited to be joined today by some lovely elves. Uh, we were kind of laughing. Go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and make you guys big for a second if I can. Can I, Allie, can I make them big with me for just a second here? Allie,
Sorry,
you're fine.
my husband just called me from out of town. Tell me what you want me to do.
You're fine. Can you make me co-host real quick?
Yes, sorry.
You're good. You're so good. So when we were talking about this class, every person comes to the class with their own uh with gifting and all sorts of things like that to with their own gifts. So you can clearly tell right here in this little video that Tina and and Stacy come to the class with different not holiday spirits. You're just such a fun personality, and I just can't wait to see. So elves, elf Stacy, grandbaby, look at that. And we even have a spare elf in grandbaby's hands. And Gloria Sparkle Bottoms are here. And I think that that's just going to be kind of one of the fun ways we get to look at today's class. You're going to have different stuff at your home. I might give you a recipe today, and you might be like, I don't have that thing she mentioned, but now that I think about it, I could do it this way or something like that. You might, Stacy, I'm going to call you out. Stacy does an amazing, beautiful job with packaging. I'm like, oh shoot, I buy like 15 of those brown paper bags at one time so I can stick it in something and hand it off. And so you're going to bring your giftings and your personality and your like whatever you do for your holidays into today's call. And I think that that will be super fun. So for today's guideline, we're going to be following along a little bit with the life steps link I put in the comments. And did you guys know that Life Steps is a free app that all Oilers can and should get? If you don't have Life Steps, I wanted to show you what it looks like on my phone. It's got this little green, you're actually why I'm not blurred out right now. That little green leaf right there. Do you see that little green leaf? And you can download Life Steps app for free. Now, if you are sharing in Young Living, I want you to know that Life Steps app has great tools. And I actually think for most active sharers, the graphics alone are worth the cost. So today we're going to be working through this resource. I shared my link, but if there's no like, you don't get a credit or anything for clicking on it. So go ahead and use this link as part of your tool, just to having some really easy, fun recipes to go on hand. And so I see that the grandbaby left. Oh, there's the I love the grandbaby. I hope she gets to stay. So these are some DIYs that I will take and make like all year long. And I know that Tina has a gift for DIYs. So I think Tina, I come across this as like, this is not something I do super well with a lot of thought. And I saw yours and I thought, oh my goodness, you guys are just amazing. Can you tell me what we're going to make today in your kitchen? You have to unmute yourself. I'm so sorry.
Yes, so we've got the grandbaby sitting on the counter in her little bouncy seat so we can somewhat entertain her. I want to share with you some basics really, because I think most people can follow a recipe, but sometimes I know it was true for me when I started doing making takes. I was guilty of like getting shea butter when I might only need like shea butter. So there's some tips, that you might need to hear about first. So I always cover my work surface with the parchment paper, and it's just the regular parchment paper. You can do brown craft paper, you could do your newspaper, or unfold some brown paper bags, whatever. Just protect your surface. What you're dealing with are greasy, oily based foods. And then you might also want to make sure that whatever you're wearing, you don't mind if you get a little oil on here and there, because you're working with shea butter. In some recipes, you're working with vitamin E. Coconut oil is a popular ingredient in things. And so those things stain. Of course, we have products that can help get those stains out, but we want to avoid them to begin with, right?
That's right.
And so I've got my little apron on. And so you don't want to break out like your best cookware and your best everything, even though I cook with stainless. I quit using like the Teflon stuff years ago because of the toxicity, but I don't love cleanup. So I grab these little popsicle sticks at the Dollar Tree, really, so that I can scrape things out like the shea butter or the coconut oil or whatever you're doing. You'll find that you need to scrape things or stir things quite a bit. So go to the Dollar Tree, get 100 of those, will last you for years. And then while you're at the Dollar Tree, get some inexpensive silicone handle and silicone spatulas, scrapers, because we were just making a magnesium cream, and we wanted to scrape all that good stuff out of your pan that you were making it in and put it in your jar so that you don't waste anything, right? Speaking of cleanup, when you're cleaning up, you want a good roll of paper towels too. Something that's going to absorb all of those ingredients that's left over in the pan. For example, this is the double boiler thing that I use. It just sits right on top of my saucepan. You put water in your saucepan, that creates that double boiler. Some of your recipes require that you need to melt things like beeswax pellets or coconut oil or shea butter or things like that that's going to blend together to make a cream base. When you're doing that, make sure when you clean up just to wipe everything out with paper towels and throw that away, because your husband does not want you pouring down this stuff in your sink. Think of it like bacon grease. You don't put things like that or coconut oil in the sink as well, because it could clog your pipes and then you're going to be in trouble. So some basic things that I have kind of collected along the way. And this is really good to shop after the holidays, because you'll find, and I don't mean just these December holidays, I'm talking about after Valentine's, because that's a great time to make and takes as well. Shop your craft stores for these silicone molds. This was $2.99. So if it's 75% off after the holiday, then you can get this one time and use it over and over and over again. So these little silicone molds, and you can even get bigger ones, are perfect for your melt and pour soaps. I have some examples. This is a melt and pour soap. You could see the glitter in it, that I made for some things that I've got going on this holiday season. I won't tell because it's a secret. And then these little guys here, and then these little trees, they just came out so cute. And so melt and pour soaps, what you want to make sure, because we are living a clean lifestyle, right? You want to read your ingredients. I was shopping for melt and pour soaps, and I was looking at a particular brand, and it said no SLS. Type in the comments if you know what SLS is. So I was excited that it said no SLS. And then I thought, well, wonder what's in it that replaces the SLS. So I started looking at the ingredients, and I went to my little dictionary that I have that's cosmetic ingredients. And I looked up that ingredient, and the definition for that ingredient said CSLS. So it's just under another name. It was a greenwashing technique that the company was doing to try to sell that melt and pour soap to somebody that cares about what labels have in them. And so just don't think that you're making something clean and beautiful with your essential oils, but you're using inferior things when you're doing your raw ingredients. So that brings up this. one of my big pet peeves is the Epsom salt. You see Epsom salt everywhere now, and it comes in all these colors and all these fragrances and all these textures. And no, just say no and get pure Epsom. Okay, no added essential oils, no added fragrance. No, just push away from it. It may say lavender, it may say 100% pure essential oils. It is not, I promise you. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to add what we know is pure and essential oils to those ingredients and creating our own scents. And we're saying no to all that other yucky stuff. Okay, so think about this, because sometimes you might see an ingredient that calls for like a dried flower, like a dried lavender. Here's a dried lavender. You can get this in bulk, and I just keep it in a jar, and bought this years ago, and I add it to a lot of things. But bathtub teas are a popular thing to give to people, and you can actually use organic dried herbal teas. That's what this is. This is the sleepy time tea. You can get it in a mixture. It's organic, non-GMO flowers and herbs that are dried. And then when you're making a bathtub tea, you can do several things. You can put it in a muslin cloth. Again, we're trying to keep our drains from being clogged, right? So we want to put our bathtub teas in a tea bag. I like to use the organza ones because this, you can see all the pretty flowers in it. Bathtub teas are super easy to make. You can throw them together in 5 minutes. You can have an assembly line with your kids, a big stainless steel bowl, dump in your, this is a sleepy time, so obviously this is going to be a calming bathtub tea. You throw that in a big bowl. You add in your Epsom salt. You can add in baking soda. You can also add in the pink Himalayan salt in the larger crystals. I love that because it gives you that floral, that different textures in there. And then add your oils: lavender, cedarwood, peace and calming, stress away. Throw out some others in the comments that you love to use at night for relaxation. Stir that all together and then just start spooning it into these things. Cinch it up. You can grab some tags like this. This was $1.50 for 16 tags, and it comes with a jute to tie it up with. So you can handwrite on here. If you have a fancy printer or a cutting device like Cricut or Silhouette, you can make your own tag and put that on there. Let's say you're making something that these are of course are breathable, so that if they're bathtub teas, you want that to allow the water to come in and out. But let's say you're making a bath salt and you're on a budget. 25 loot bags from the Dollar Tree. You pull these open and you put your mixture, your bath salts in here, you tie it up, and there is your gift. So no matter what your budget is, you can take 10, 12, 15 drops of lavender and create 20 bags, 25 bags for all those teachers that are out there. So Stacy, I know we were already bragging about you and some of the bouginess that you have in your bloodstream. Typically, I would just grab something like this, see the plastic, or this plastic bottle and plastic lid for a room spray. As long as it didn't have citrus oil in it, I would probably do something like this to keep my cost down, or do something like this. Let me share with you what Stacy would do. See the difference? The gorgeous glass bottle with the metallic lid and the metallic spray and the great label that goes around it, all that, that's her style. And I love that. And when it depends on your budget. It depends on who's the recipient. How many are you making? So Stacy might be making something for somebody that she wanted to spend $25 to $50 on. She can create a gorgeous gift box with a bottle to hold her Winter Nights Infused Thieves household cleaner, a bottle to put in their Winter Nights room and linen spray, another labeled bottle for the Epsom salt that would also have that in there. She might want to recycle her 15 ml bottles and put in the blend that she's teaching them to make out of their own oils. Replace the lid. This is a cap. You can also do a dropper lid. And then she would package it with a gorgeous box, grab some of this crinkle stuff from the Dollar Tree. She would tie it with this jute string and attach jingle bells to it. almost dropped it. That would have been a bad thing. Attach that to the lid. You can get little snowflakes. These come like, I don't know, 15, 20 in a bag. Just thread a little ring, a little string in there, add that to it. You can go out into your yard and cut magnolia, pine, cedar, whatever. You can cut those up, lay it in the box, nest it in there with some colorful tissue paper along with your crinkle paper, and then nestle a little bath soap in it that you've made with a nice card that you are saying why you're receiving that. Of course, include the recipes and all that kind of stuff so that people know what to do with their empty bottles. If you want to take it a step further, maybe you're going to a party and you want to take a hostess gift. This is great. Go ahead and put, where's my thieves? Yeah. Go ahead and put a cap full of Thieves Household Cleaner in here. Put the Winter Nights Essential Oil Blend in there, and then add water. And there you've got a nice hostess gift to go to wherever you're going.
That's a great idea.
And then, hey, give them your business card or your QR code so that they know where to get more when they need a refill. So those are some of the things that I had set aside for you guys, for being able to just teach you some of the things that I did wrong, like buying too much. Last year, my daughter, her and her friend, well, my daughter owns a grooming salon, and they wanted to gift all of their customers some paw butter that's good for dogs' paws. And so we found a recipe and we set up this kitchen, and we had this, manufacturing thing. So that's why we bought such bulk, and we still had stuff left over. So this magnesium, and I can type out the recipe, but this is a magnesium cream. It took 1/4 cup of shea butter and 2 tablespoons of the beeswax pastils, the little tiny ones, and 1 tablespoon of the what was the other thing I put in there? Coconut oil. So I got a lot left over. You need to just order what you need for a small batch, or order a lot. Know that a lot of this stuff is can go rancid. I'm sure you've been around your coconut oil or your olive oil or something like that when you go take a sniff and it's rancid. And there's no amount of essential oils that's going to make that smell better. So just order the batch size that you need and don't overdo it. And then, of course, we're only using Young Living essential oils in all of our recipes because we know that those are pure. We know that they're real essential oils. And then when you're making things like soaps, you're going to need to add probably 20 drops to a batch. This batch made 12 soaps, 20 drops of the oil went in there. So you need to overdo, because oils are volatile. They're going to evaporate, and you want your soap to smell really good when they receive it. So anyway, I'm going to check the questions if you want to take over and
You betcha.
go back to those other stuff.
I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm trying to get my video there. All right, you guys. So I want to tell you that I think no matter how crafty you are or aren't, I'm not a very crafty person, but you can take something you make and add something oily to it, or you can add something from the store and add something small and oily to it. So what I love about what Tina's doing, or sorry, Stacy, Tina and Stacy are doing, is that they've got this beautiful collection that you could now do one of those things and add it to a nice towel set, right? So you can do all kinds of things with your oils, and you can just have some simple things on hand always to do. So I'm going to walk through with some of what they talked about today, and we're going to give you just a few more ideas that you might be able to add to them. So you mentioned salts, and we have a question in the comment about some of your favorite things to add to bath salts. And whenever I have to go somewhere and I didn't know I was supposed to bring a gift, I'm going to tell you a sugar scrub and a bath salt are the 2 things I do. So one thing I do at the start of every holiday season is I buy a 12-pack of jars, because maybe you have more jars. And if you have to go and raid your canning jars, I've done that, no judge. But like I try and get like some of the, like one year I got like squishy flat ones, and I've gotten pretty blue ones. Sometimes the Dollar Tree has some really fun ones, sometimes even with like the little wood spoons. But being able to do bath salts and a sugar scrub are just some super, super quick things. You put one of each one of those, and you will be able to fill it into a small gift bag, and it has, you know, weight to it, and they can be big and pretty. You can put some bows if you have gifting. If not, you can stick a bow with peel the sticker off, stick a bow on top. You will still be good. They can be non-Christmassy, so if you just need to go to like a holiday work party. So let's brainstorm some ideas for your favorite salts, bath salts in the comments. My absolute favorite go-to is Stress Away. I just think that you get a lot of really good go around for that season. And lavender frankincense is another favorite of mine. If you guys have some other ones that you love, lavender spearmint, super good. If you are going and it needs to be gender neutral, a really easy swap out is adding Idaho blue spruce. And I have done an Idaho blue spruce cedar wood that was a lovely, lovely option. And I just kind of think if you aren't really sure what direction to go, that's a really easy, fun one that you can do. And I like to do a matching cinnamon vanilla. And so vanilla has just upped our game so much. Don't you guys think? Everything that we can do that mixes with that vanilla is lovely. Here's kind of a fun one to consider trying: a little cinnamon bark, a little Stress Away, a little ylang ylang. That's kind of luxurious. And so that's just kind of another fun one as well. And I just think you can go so far with just, if you've ever made a sugar scrub, it's literally sugar and coconut oil, and you mix it together with your little stick, and then you add your essential oils to it, and you are perfect and ready to go out the door. And they're lovely. Like, people really do enjoy rubbing their hands through a sugar scrub. So I just prefer them in the bathroom. They make your hands so soft, and they have the smell. I loved the idea of doing thieves cleaner, and I think, how fun would this be? I grabbed a tool. What do I do with it? Hang on a second. Well, I was at the Target, and they had silver buckets in their dollar spot, and I thought, how fun would a $3 silver bucket be? Apparently I didn't bring it over to the computer with me. And a thieves cleaner spray bottle, right? And then how about some towels? Just some kitchen towels. What a perfect gift for a housewarming gift. And you added winter nights. My favorite to add is Christmas spirit. And so I think, how fun is that? Does anybody else have a thieves cleaner like that they like to add? Now, we all know you don't have to add anything to your thieves cleaner to make it work. Tina, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I will, but go ahead. If you want to pull me
Okay.
in, let's share
All
a
right.
screen.
So I know that you need permission to share the screen, or you got it okay?
No, I was
So-
going to tell you to put a split screen so we're both on there.
Yeah, I made you. You're there now. Are you there on yours too?
Yeah.
Or is it just on mine? All right. So I personally you don't have to add anything to your thieves cleaner to make it work, but how fun just to make it a little bit more seasonal and do a fun label. So we had some super fun Christmas labels. I saw Tina's winter nights one, and I told her this morning, I've never done winter nights in my thieves cleaner, so maybe I'll have a new one. But I want to tell you, one of the easiest ways to add smells to your thieves cleaner is with the simplified. It could not be more easy. And Tina and I and Stacy and Allie, we are full of gratitude and super excited that we got to get these here a little bit early so we could tell you about them. These are some of the absolute best simplified I've ever smelled. Those of you who know me in real life, I wasn't the hugest of fans of the summer ones. I don't know if that was just like my personal bend. The fall ones, what a great collection. But these you guys should have told me, Amanda, you're showing the back of the box. Put the front of the box up, Amanda. I will never replace Vanna White because I have no. So, but how simple to add just a little bit of winter spa to your cleaner. And it will be so fresh and clean in your house. And so I did with the fall ones that I added about 8 drops, but you can do it for your size of your bottle, your preference for the smell. Tina, go ahead and share whatever you were.
I wanted to add on to the reason why I chose the Winter Nights is because there is an artist on Etsy who happens to be a platinum in Young Living. That she's a
Mm.
graphics artist and she has an Etsy channel, and so I downloaded her $12 thing in the fall, and I did it again in the winter, so I can print as many labels as I want. I have the instructions, and so it creates a package, and it motivated, like in the fall I sent those to all my brand partners that show up weekly for our meetings,
Oh, I
and
love that.
they
Share the
they
link.
they loved it. They loved it. I'll get the link for you. And then I used to advertise in this magazine, and I pulled out because lots of reasons, but I still love this magazine. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's called Willow and Sage, and they come out quarterly, I believe now. But if you're looking for ideas on how to make things and how to package them, they really do have some great ideas to get your creative thinking going. Like here's and I don't know if you can see that, but it's a tube. So it starts out like this. It's a glass test
Fun.
tube with a screw-on lid that came from the dollar spot at Michael's. And so I like the twist on lids. Sometimes you find them with cork and those don't stay in as well, but you can also dip those in paraffin wax to seal them on. All kind of fun things that make people go, wow, what boutique did you buy this from? And this must be very, very expensive. And so I love this magazine for that. I've made some soaps like this before too, with the melt and pour, where you put the botanicals in there and the essential oils. But I will tell you that the botanicals will stain your oils and they look kind of molded after a while. And I didn't like that. But let's see, there was something else you were saying. I love the pairing of things. We went to Hobby Lobby, no, Home Goods one Christmas, and actually got thrown out of there because we were making so much ruckus in the back, pairing together like this with some spatulas in a mixing bowl, or pulling together all kinds of gifts and making like, if you were going to do a spa package, you could do the bath salts. You could get one of those little sleepy masks, the little gloves that help with the lymphatic system and helps to exfoliate the skin. Pair those things together and create that gift basket for somebody. And like you said, grab those brown paper bags. You can do that. Stamp
I know.
them, color on them, put ribbons on them, tie bells on them. I mean, you can just really make it look so amazing. You get the kids involved, get your friends involved. I mean, Stacy called me yesterday and said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I'm in the mood to make and take, and I want to do DIYs. And I was like, that's exactly what we're going to be doing tomorrow.
We're doing
So,
it.
you want to have your friends get interested in what you're doing. This is the best way to do it. Have them over. I will tell you this: don't plan a make and take with too many items,
Right.
because these items are messy, and some of them need the stove, some of them need the fridge, some need time to set up before you cream them. There's a process. So read your instructions very carefully and decide how many make and take stations you want to have, and don't overwhelm yourself, because the goal is to help have fun, build fellowship, teach people why we ditch and switch and why we do what we do, and not feel overwhelmed. And then the party's over and you're like, what did we even do? And my house is a mess, right?
Mess.
So maybe just have one or two things that you're going to focus on and create that and make that leveled up.
For sure. I think that that's a really good tip for people who maybe might get like overwhelmed. One thing I like to do with making takes is involve children. And so if you do that, you want it to be easy. And you could even, you could even have some people come over and leave you their kids for a little bit. Go home with just something super easy like Play-Doh, and maybe they make something for mom or something like that. Give mom an hour or two to go ahead and get her presents wrapped or something super fun and easy like that. I'm not going to do kind of a lot of stuff, but one of the things I think is that you can just do something lovely with anything you have. This is my favorite Play-Doh recipe. Just in case you need it, just in case that stirs a little thought for you. I am a huge, huge fan of making things simple and the stuff people can do at home. I love the ideas that you shared today, Tina. And as we wrap up our half an hour, I just want to encourage you to dig in to the gift giving guide that I linked in the comments. I'll go ahead and link it one more time, just in case. If you weren't here at the start and you want the chat, let us know, but we'll do a replay on this. Grabbing something simple and easy, and recycling. One thing I do is like all year long, I watch for baskets at like thrift stores, and then I spray paint them black just because they're really lovely looking for the holiday. And I'm a big fan of recycling, so I recycle all of my stuffing in paper, right? Grab those Young Living gifts. What better time after that sale with those diffusers to just pair up something and make some diffuser bombs that you can just add and make really lovely gifts. You're going to want them. This was kind of a fun little bit here. There's some holiday movie diffuser blends. Does everybody in here know how to make a bomb? What you do is you recycle your bottle just like Stacy's doing for her gift right there. Oh, right there. Wash off the label, use the lemon to get the sticky off. If you've got a little sticky left on them, let them dry. And then you take your diffuser blend that you love and you multiply it for your bottles. And so that's what is that Winter Nights. You're not going to tell us what's in, are you going to tell us what's in that one?
I can tell you what's in it. It was 100 drops of cedar wood. Let me double check that. I believe it's 100 drops of Idaho, the Northern Lights black spruce, and then 60 drops of cedar wood, 40 drops of orange, and I think it's 20 drops of peppermint. I'm gonna go get the recipe. I'll be right back.
Okay, so now you might be thinking to yourself, I don't have enough cedar wood. What had the 100 drops? Idaho blue spruce to do that many. But what you can do is recycle your 5 mils and maybe only fill them halfway. So, and that's still a really, really lovely. Now you can also buy some little pouches that you get off of Amazon, and you can put, drops in a seal pouch, or even in a smaller bottle if you want to. So recycling those 5 mils is just a great way to do it. Go ahead with your recipe, Tina, and
I was wrong on that. And I just want to hold up the sheet, because when you get that download from Etsy, you get one sheet that's all labels and one sheet that's the instructions. And so the instructions on this Winter Nights Master Blend is 100 drops of Northern Lights black spruce, or a 5 ml bottle. If you have a 5 ml bottle, it's the whole bottle. 100 drops of cedar wood, same thing, a whole 5 ml bottle. 60 drops of orange and 40 drops of peppermint. So what that does is it fills up a 15 ml bottle, and you know how long that lasts. I mean, then say the recipe for the Winter Nights room and linen spray. This is for a 10-ounce bottle. You're going to use 15 to 30 drops of this, and that's it, right? So it goes a long way. And then you can add more oils if you want, but it's a half a cup of distilled water and a half a cup of witch hazel or vodka. I prefer witch hazel, and it's super cheap. And I buy this just in the first aid section of the stores. Witch hazel is your drying agent. It's what's going to keep it evaporating quickly, so you don't feel like you've hosed down your furniture and your air with just water. And it's plant-based, so it's safe for everything. But this sheet will then you can use it as a diffuser bomb, of course. Add this to your diffuser, add it to your thieves cleaner and your spray bottle. It goes in the bath salts. That way you're mixing it up one time. And my point to make here is do as I say and not as I do. And because I know I've made things up and I think, oh, I'll just go label that later. And I forget. And then 6 months later, I'm like, what was in here? I don't remember. Does anybody know what did I make this for? So grab, even if
raise your hand if you've done that.
Even if it's a label that you would put on a file for your office organization, just put something on there. That's one of the reasons I was telling Stacy I like to use some of the little mica powders, because in this cream I put blue in it. So now I know this is the nighttime cream with the magnesium and the lavender and the cedar wood. So just come up with a way to make sure you know what's in that jar.
Oh, I love it. Make sure you get us that Etsy link here real quick before we sign off. I do want to tell you that thank you for watching. You can go back to whomever invited you to today's class for the replay, or the shareable. You can save the notes that are in the chat over on, if you're on a computer, there'll be 3 little dots and you can download the chat with the recipes to it. Otherwise, ask the person who invited you to today's call and they too can get you that chat link. Thank you, Gloria, Sparkle Bottoms. And Stacy, did you get your name yet?
Oh, I'm just I'm the baby whisperer right now. She's asleep.
You are the baby whisperer. I know no better baby whisperer than you. And I just want to tell you all, I kind of pushed this class a little early in December but we have events coming up next Tuesday night. And I thought to myself, I'm going to need to pull something together. So I did an Amazon quick order with some extra spray bottles, some extra roller balls, and some little jars. Grab yourself some bags and you are going to be good to go for your entire season with oils you have. I also want to throw out loyalty oils, the oils that you get every month with your orders when you're on loyalty rewards or you're doing those orders, those freebies. I love to integrate those into holiday gifts for make and takes, like pine and orange and Idaho blue spruce. Put it together and boom. So make sure that you are, just using what you have and getting as much good value out of all that Young Living has to offer. With that being said, thank you so much, Elf and Gloria, for joining me. That was so much fun to see your kitchen and how much fun you're having. And we will see you guys next week at our normally scheduled class. Thanks so much.